Welcome to Food Fights, and today you and I are going to find out which one of these two cans of pasta tastes the best and is the better value. On the left, weighing in at 15.6 ounces, is Campbell's Spaghettios with meatballs. And on the right, weighing in at 15 ounces, is Aldi's brand Italia spaghetti rings with meatballs. What can I say? I'm just a kid, so I like kid food sometimes. I might crack open a can of Spaghettios just for old time's sake, and a lot of times it's not as good as my memory. So I think I'm better off sometimes just remembering it the way it was. I don't know if the Spaghettios have changed or if my taste buds have changed. So this is going to be interesting to see if the Aldi's brand, the Italia spaghetti rings, is going to be as good or maybe better than the Campbell Spaghettios. So for the Spaghettios, I paid 98 cents for this 15.6 ounce can, and that works out to 6 cents an ounce. For the Italia, I paid 65 cents for this 15 ounce can, and that works out to 4 cents an ounce. So there is a bit of a difference in price and a bit of a difference in value. Obviously, the better value is with the Italia, but it's only a value if it tastes good. So I'm excited to find out if it does taste good, and maybe it tastes better than the Spaghettios. So the Spaghettios meatballs are made of pork, chicken, and beef. So that's interesting. As for the Italia meatballs, it doesn't say here. So let's look at the ingredients. Let's start with the ingredients of the Spaghettios. Let's see. Holy cow. That's a long list of ingredients, and I'm not even going to read it all. I'll just kind of scan through here, and you can see what's in here for yourself. We know that it's made with pork and beef and chicken and who knows what other animals may or may not be in here. All right, so there's the Spaghettios. So let's look at the Italia and see what these are made out of. And there's a lot of stuff in there, too. Beef, pork, no chicken, though. So that's a little bit different, but man, there's a lot of stuff in there. The main ingredient, of course, is water and tomato puree, just like the Spaghettios. Water and tomato puree, and then all the other stuff that goes along with it. To me, they actually look like they're identical or fairly identical in the recipe. Are they going to be identical or fairly identical in the taste? So let's open these up and see what they look like. We'll start with the Spaghettios, and of course, it has the neat little pull-top lid, as you would kind of expect anymore, which makes it really nice to open, especially if you're in a place where you don't have a can opener. And that looks like Spaghettios. And that looks pretty good to me, actually. It's really reminding me of the old days. I'm not going to tell you how old of days, but that reminds me of my childhood. Now, Spaghettios is one of those things I think either you love it or you hate it. And I know some people that absolutely hate Spaghettios, but then again, I know some people that absolutely love Spaghettios. So let's open up the Italia and see how this looks. And of course, we need our handy dandy little can opener here. I love this can opener, it just locks right on there. And there we go, we're open up. And that looks good too. Looks a little bit different. That actually looks like the Italia is a bit thicker than the Spaghettios. Oh yeah, you can see the Spaghettios is pretty runny in there. And the Italia does seem to be a bit thicker. So let's dump some of these out and we'll heat these up and see how these things taste. So here we go. We've got these in a bowl, and of course the Spaghettios are on the left and the Italia, the Aldi's brand, is on the right. And really they look very similar. The meatball to pasta ratio is about the same. Even the sauce ratio is about the same. So you can see the Spaghettios has a bit brighter color, more of an orange sauce than what the Italia does. So the Italia has a little bit more of a red tomato sauce than what the Spaghettios does. And the Spaghettios meatballs seem like they have a finer texture to them as opposed to the Italia. Other than that, they seem to be very similar, but they do look like they're going to have a different flavor. So I'm going to start off with a Spaghettios meatball all by itself and see how that tastes. So here is the Spaghettio meatball. So let's try this. It's pretty good. Has that sweet taste, a little bit of a sweet taste, as we know with the Spaghettios, and a bit of a meat taste to it, and the texture is really good. I really like the texture of the Spaghettios meatball. All right, so let's try the Italia meatball. So here we are. This is the Italia meatball, and I guess it's less of a ball and more of a cylinder shape. So let's try the Italia and see how this is. The Italia seems to have more of a meat flavor to it. Definitely has a meatier taste to it than what the Spaghettios do. To me, they're both really good. Right now, I can't say one is any better than the other. It's a little bit different. The Spaghettios has got a finer texture, obviously, just like it looks. And the texture of the Bonitalia seems to be a bit more homemade and taste a bit more what you think homemade would be. So let's try some of the Spaghettios pasta all by itself and see how this is. So here's our Spaghettios pasta, and let's give this a taste. Here we go. That tastes good. That tastes pretty much exactly how I remember it. That's actually quite nice. I like that. It has been a while since I've had these, and it's nice that it seems to be pretty much the same as it always has been. That is good. That really reminds me of my childhood. All right, so let's get a spoonful of the Bonitalia pasta all by itself and see how this is. So here we are with the Bonitalia pasta, and let's give that a taste. Definitely different. It's not as sweet as the Spaghettios is, but it is a good flavor. It is a bit different, but it's not bad different. It's just different, if that means anything. So far, these are both really good. The Spaghettios taste like Spaghettios. The Bonitalia really doesn't taste like Spaghettios, but it is a good product. It's a canned pasta. So let's get some of the Spaghettios with a meatball. So here, let's try the Spaghettios with a meatball and see how this tastes. That's pretty good. I'm liking the Spaghettios. And with the meat, that really kicks it up a bit. That's a good flavor. Mixed together, it's a little bit, the Spaghettio with the meatball together taste a little bit different than I remember it. It's almost like there's some more spices in the meatball than I remember. So let's do the same thing with the Bonitalia. So let's get some of the Bonitalia pasta with a meatball. So here we are with the Bonitalia. So let's try this and see how this tastes. Not bad. Again, not as sweet and a bit of a coarser texture on the meatball. It is pretty good. So which one of these two is the winner? Is it the Spaghettios or is it the Bonitalia, the Aldi's brand of spaghetti rings? Well, both of these were pretty good. I really enjoyed eating both of these, but one I enjoyed better than the other. Do you know which one it is? Well, let me tell you. The Spaghettios, it reminded me of my childhood. I mean, who hasn't had Spaghettios as a kid? Maybe you liked them and maybe you didn't, and maybe it's going to be the same for you. If I'd have been given this, the Bonitalia, instead of Spaghettios when I was a kid, I think I would have enjoyed this too. So these are both really good, and they are considerably different. Not just the meatballs, but in the taste of the sauce as well. But we do have a winner here, and the winner here is the Spaghettios. It just reminds me of the Spaghettios of days gone by. It had a bit more flavor to it. The Bonitalia was good. It's a good quality product. It just did not seem to have that same tangy tomato taste as you get from the Spaghettios. It's a little bit less sweet than what the Spaghettios are. So maybe that's a good thing for you. Maybe if you think Spaghettios is a bit on the sweet side, you might really enjoy the pasta rings with meatballs from Bonitalia. They are both really, really good, but the Spaghettios, I think, is much better, and to me, worth the extra money for the Spaghettios than the savings of the Bonitalia. So thank you for watching Food Fights, and stick around because we have more videos just like this coming right up. I'll see you in the next video.